What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are beginning our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, the manga. The art for this manga is done by Uroki Sabishi, who also did Beltorchica's Children as well. In this story, we cover everyone's favorite Gundam terrorist. Mafty's goals are to assassinate Federation ministers in the hopes to prevent them from voting on opening up the floodgates of Earth immigration. We will compare this to both the light novel and the movie as well. Need something to do until they announce a US release. As we covered the movies and book already, this video makes a lot of assumptions that you know a lot of this material already. You have been warned. Let's not waste any time and let's get into this. Universal Century has been going on for 105 years now, and the back half of that experienced nothing but war. Now many have left Earth for the colonies, while the privileged few dwell on Earth. Unrest this time comes in the form of wealth disparity and immigration policies. Once again, a group rises up against the Federation to fight oppression. We start our story with Hathaway visiting his mentor, Professor Amada Manson. We should see Manson in the second movie. Remember, Hathaway's front is that he is a biological observer, which is technically true. In the movie, that book is the only real nod to Manson so far. The professor says that it has gotten cooler since the asteroid drop on Lhasa. He then says that Quacksalvers wants to speak with him in Hong Kong. Hathaway will stay with Kalaya as she encountered a situation with the Manhunters. A lot is going on, so let's break it down. In the second novel, and probably the second movie, we are introduced to Quacksalvers. He is the original mastermind behind Mafty. This must be the moment mentioned in the book about their original meeting, which involved Amada Manson. Kalaya is Hathaway's ex-girlfriend, who we saw at the end of the first movie. They seem to still be dating here. This isn't in the light novels, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see this play out in the movies. We flash back to the Battle of Axis UC-0093. Char and Amado fight while Hathaway tries to save Quest. Hathaway wakes up from his nightmare. Kalaya knows about the incident with Quest. She asks if it is okay for him to trust this Quacksalver. Quacksalver means fake doctor and is clearly a fake name. Hathaway ultimately doesn't trust Quacksalver. He may be a fake or not even exist at all. At an Indonesian botanical garden, Quacksalver is meeting with Manson. He then meets with Hathaway in Hong Kong. He mentions his father is still in the military and trying to pivot into politics. Quack says that people are flooding Earth, which is exactly what Char was trying to prevent. The irony isn't lost on Hathaway. The privileged class now takes up most of the population of Earth, though they allow a few plebes to live here. To do all the service work, of course. Quacksalver is trying to do something that completely shifts public sentiment. If his dad goes into politics, it might paint a target on his back. Hathaway has come to terms with it. Quacksalver laughs. Even I'm laughing. Dude, you're so not over it. We flash back to Quest. Hathaway and his Jagan shoots and kills Quest and her Alpha Izeru. Yes, in Beltorchica's Children, Hathaway kills Quest, not Chan. Hathaway wakes up in a cold sweat. Yeah, he's not over it. In Davao, Commander Kimberly is awaiting Cabinet Minister Heathrow. This is who Kenneth replaces and will change the name from the Kimberly unit to the Cersei unit. The minister finds this commander useless and tells them to tail them from behind even though they were warned of terrorist activities. As they drive, mobile suits approach the city. All the screens and comms in the city are hijacked by Mafty Nava Aaron. He tells the people of the privilege of the Federation and the colonization of Earth. He says to the world that Minister Heathrow has illegal mining operations throughout the world. He had those who dissented killed by lying and claiming they were all illegal immigrants. They are here to kill him. Galman is piloting a Messer. This appears to be closer to Hajime Kotoki's 2R design from the movie rather than the novel design. But it seems to be a fusion of both along with the video game designs. The head-mounted weapons can be switched out and can use rocket launchers or Vulcans depending on its needs. Hathaway is his wingman, also in a Messer, before getting his Gundam. An Angsha from the Kimberly forces comes in. Hathaway takes it down with ease. Galman uses a tiny beam emitter and melts off the minister's head. Brutal! More mobile suits approach. It is a squad of Gustav Karls, which are different in the manga. The FD03 Gustav Karl manga version also is a fusion of the movie, novel, and game designs. This uses the same beam rifle used by the Jagan. Both arms have grenades in the arms, like Zeta, and the head has more of a Zeta influence. The manga Gustav Karl also has an unarmored variant. They take down one. Then all the Messers converge on another and take it down. One more Gustav Karl remains. They fly low through the cityscape and shoot down the final Gustav Karl's Caesarea. Mafty bails from the city before more enemies approach. Over the next 6 months, Mafty assassinated 4 Federation ministers in the South Pacific. On the moon, at an undisclosed Anaheim Electronics factory, Hathaway is working on a new Gundam, Haunzen Flight 356. A flight that requires a certain kind of Federation privilege to board. The first words out of Kenneth's mouth are a reminder that this guy really likes to have sex. He returns to the cabin and tries to talk to Gigi and Lucia. She is playing her weird game. They breeze past it in the manga and the movie, but in the novel they go into detail about it. But it doesn't really serve a purpose. She knows that she is heading to Earth to handle the Mafty situation. She asks what he thinks of this Mafty Nava Aaron, many are relating him to the Nexometa Ray or Shar Aznable. Kenneth finds Mafty's demands childish. As he heads back to his seat, he sees Hathaway with his shoulders hunched over. Catty old ladies be a little chatty while Hathaway gets him a glass of wild turkey. Unlike the movies, we get the extended scene in the lounge that plays out like the novel. Gigi flirts up a bunch of EFF ministers. The bartender asks Hathaway why he is going to Earth. He tells him he is a biological observer in training. The bartender says Gigi was able to get on this flight because she is someone's mistress. Do they ever mention that in the movie? Mace Flowers tells the passengers it is last call before they begin their descent. Kenneth flirts with Mace. I wonder if Kenneth is going to have sex with her like in the novel, which eventually leads to someone getting slapped. Oh, they gotta do the slap scene. As they descend, the hijacking begins. This plays out more like the novel. The shuttle is hijacked by just a base jabber. No mobile suits, like the movie. Kenneth also preps his gun before the invasion, and there is a momentary standoff before Kenneth decides to stand down. Mr. Pumpkin Man claims he is Mafty. Pumpkin Mafty does a roll call based off of the flight manifest. One minister tries to use his political power to persuade him, so Pumpkin Mafty unloads a full clip into him. They then call Hathaway's name, and everyone does a double take. They realize he's the kid who fought against Shar's rebellion. Hathaway handles the body of the minister when the wife freaks out, so they decide to kill her as well. In the movie, Hathaway and Gigi have a new type connection in this moment, but here, and in the novel, she yells out, "Yo, these guys aren't the real Mafty." Hathaway decides to attack. Kenneth secures the cabin while Hathaway clears the cockpit. Unlike the movie, here, Kenneth didn't come to help Hathaway. He handles the situation himself. Kenneth and the passengers praise Hathaway. When he looks at Gigi, he sees Quest. He wonders how did she know that they weren't the real Mafty. They were rerouted from Hong Kong to Davao and begin their descent. Many of the ministers' main destination is Adelaide. Hathaway mentions that this will provide cover for their Gundam operation. They all get off the shuttle as the FF secures the area. Gigi gives Hathaway a look that pierces through his soul. Kenneth tells Hathaway that Gigi was right. They don't seem to be Mafty, but it could be one of those Owenbelly rebels that the Kimberley forces have been dealing with. Owenbelly is in northern Australia. Ray Lagoyd meets with Kenneth and tells him Kimberley is currently in Owenbelly dealing with rebels. This is now a situation that the Federation will handle. They will take care of hotel arrangements. Hathaway realizes that he will be watched carefully and is now kind of a prisoner. In the lobby, all ministers are relieved, but Hathaway is now vigilant. Hundley Yoksum wants to question Hathaway before the Federation gets to him. They get him a hotel off-site. With him is Gas Hugest, who isn't as laid back as Yoksum. Both the local police, the federal police, and the Federation are all fighting to investigate this situation. Hathaway then talks to Gigi. He wonders why she thought the terrorists were fake Mafty, and why she was laughing. She tells him that she knows that he is the real Mafty Nava Aaron. This girl could see through the lies. In the movie, Hathaway always uses plausible deniability and never implicates himself. But in the novel, and here in the manga, he teases Gigi with the fact that he may be Mafty. Literal tease. All versions of this story in this conversation with Hathaway telling her to forget this conversation, and Gigi saying that she can't, and neither can he. After this moment, even though he looks cool and collected, he is panicking. He is looking at potential ways to make his escape if necessary. He thinks he may be caught at this moment. You don't really get that in the movie. The movie also doesn't really tell you flat out that Hathaway is Mafty like in the book and the manga. I wonder why they took that approach. He is the last of the Haunzen passengers to be interrogated. And that will do it for this episode. Shout out to Zeonic for translating this one. If you are looking for something that is closer to the novel, the manga is it. We know most of you are never gonna read, though we still don't get that hyper-intense paranoia from Hathaway that only comes from the novel. Next time, Hathaway meets with Mahesia Hintz. manhunters be manhunting, and Galman begins his attack on the city to try to get Hathaway out of there. Also, we see Penelope in action. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, don't let a girl you talk to on a layover ruin your plans to stop the government. Peace.